हेलो एंड वेलकम टू आईपीओ कॉर्नर। आज हम बात करने वाले हैं एक नए आईपीओ की जो मार्केट में उतरने वाला है। वो है साइन लाइफ साइंसेज का आईपीओ। इस आईपीओ पर बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ मैनेजमेंट से दो खास मेहमान मौजूद हैं। हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं कृष्णम राजू कानामूरी, एमडी एंड सीईओ ऑफ साइन लाइफ साइंसेज, एंड शिवाराम कृष्णन चित्तूर, चीफ फाइनेंशियल ऑफिसर ऑफ साइन लाइफ साइंसेज। सर, आप दोनों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
Thank you so much for having us.
जी सर। सर, सबसे पहला सवाल तो मेरा यही रहेगा। कृष्णा सर, आपसे पूछती हूँ मैं पहला सवाल कि जब लाइफ साइंसेज का आईपीओ आपने इस वक्त मार्केट में उतारने की क्यों सोची?
See, I think Sine, last few years, we have seen a lot of growth, and we really are seeing exciting opportunities in the Indian market. And I think this is the right time for the company to come to the public market because we see good growth prospects for the company, and both for us to raise money to expand our operations as well as good opportunity for investors to get into this growth story over the next 5-10 years, because we see India going to become a very big destination for CDMO market in the next 5-10 years because of global tailwinds, increase in marketing expenses, and this is a good opportunity for both us and the public markets to benefit from this opportunity.
तो शिवा सर, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी कि जो आईपीओ आप ला रहे हैं, इस आईपीओ में आप बहुत बड़ा फंड रेज कर रहे हैं, करीबन 3,000 करोड़ का आप आईपीओ ला रहे हैं। तो ऐसे में इस पैसे का इस्तेमाल आप कैसे करने वाले हैं आने वाले समय में?
We're totally raising close to around 3,000 crores. उसमें around 950 crores is primary, and the balance is OFS or offer for sale. इस पे current existing shareholders they are selling their shares. On the primary 950 crores, around 720 crores will be used to repay our debt in the books. So इस पे debt will come down. The balance 230 crores will remain for general corporate purposes.
Okay.
And we have specified the uses of the fund in the document that we released.
और सर, अगर मैं रिसेंट फाइनेंशियल परफॉर्मेंस के बारे में बात करूं या आपके जो रेवेन्यू में की ड्राइवर्स हैं उनके बारे में बात करूं, तो वो क्या रहे हैं फिलहाल?
So I think if you look at our revenue performance, I think we've been the fastest growing. We've mentioned this in the document. We've also given comparisons to how competition in the Indian space have grown. We've grown our revenue at a growth rate of around 30% in the last 3 years. Our EBITDA growth, which is earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, has grown by close to 50% in the last 3 years. We've also submitted our data for the half year ended September 24. If you look at that data and compare it with September 23, our EBITDA has actually grown by close to 90% from the previous half of the financial, from the previous H1. Year on year growth is around 90% in terms of EBITDA. So what we wanted to kind of state is that I think the business is going through not only a revenue growth. I think what we look for is much more profitable growth. I think it's important to make sure that the investments that we have made to make the company differentiated kind of pace in terms of increase in profitability. And that is what we are seeking to achieve. And what you see is a constant improvement in the EBITDA of the business. And we are confident that given the trajectory, I think, what we have performed, I think what we have performed kind of tells you the strategy that we have followed has borne fruits.
Okay. Krishna sir, what are the key focus areas for your company growth in next 3 to 5 years?
And the key focus, obviously, the three aspects. Number one, we are working with a lot of companies now who want us to kind of really build up scale and capacity to give them an alternative to China in the next 4 to 5 years. So right now, we're working very closely with customers to figure out three key areas. What technologies they want us to establish, be it R&D or manufacturing, what scales they want, and what is the quality of people, qualification of people they want on their teams, the profile of teams. So we really are building these three key aspects of it, and our goal is to become a much more substantial partner to these companies and increase, obviously, our market share as this grows. I think we will be laser focused on execution on these three fronts, at least for the next 3 to 5 years, to really scale up this business.
Shiva sir, what is the company's current debt position?
We've presented in the balance sheet as of September 24. We are close to around 750 crores of debt. That is the position that we have presented in the September 24 numbers.
एंड कितनी आप अभी आपने भी कहा कि आप डेट कम करने वाले हैं, जो आईपीओ का पैसा आएगा उसके बाद आप डेट रिड्यूस भी करेंगे, तो कितना रिडक्शन की उम्मीद है?
So as of the IPO, I think what we have said is at the end of IPO, the money that we raised, 730 crores, will go to reduce the debt. So debt will become negligible once the amounts are repaid. That is one reason. Not just it will not only help us clean the balance sheet, help us make the balance sheet stronger. What it will also do is that interest component that we are currently paying in terms of interest to the banks for the debt that we are raising will actually reduce significantly. So if you look at our financial year 24, the interest cost, and if you will see that in the financials we have presented in the document, ranges around 5.5% or so of the revenue. So a significant portion of that will completely come down, because once you repay that debt, the interest on that will be saved, and then that will kind of accrue to the P&L. That's the objective for this.
एंड एज अ सीडीएमओ प्लेयर, जैसे कि हम अभी बात भी कर रहे थे, बायोसिक्योर एक्ट से आपको आप उस एक्ट से आप क्या समझते हैं कि लाइक आने वाले जो साल हैं वो इस सेक्टर के लिए तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि ऑफ कोर्स एक्सपोर्ट अपॉर्चुनिटीज भी बढ़ेंगी और हमारा यूएस में जो एनहांसमेंट है, इंडियन कंपनीज की जो प्रेजेंस है वो भी बढ़ेगी, जो मार्केट है वो भी एक्सपैंड कर सकता है। इसमें आपकी कंपनी का कितना रोल रहेगा और आप लोग क्या प्लान कर रहे हैं?
See, the Biosecure Act is only one part of the whole equation. There are three elements at play. One is first, when COVID hit, that was China plus one. What is happening in China? We need to look at another source because we're a single country. Biosecure is a different problem. It addresses the IP issue. What the US government now deems is that their discovery and pharmaceutical industry is as important as semiconductor industry, where they have advantage over China. So they don't want all the technology to go to China. So that is almost a security issue for the country, long term, to diversify away from China. And the third aspect which is coming in is really the cost structure. There's another law called the Inflation Reduction Act, where the US government has changed the law that even when a drug is under patent, in year 7, the US Medicare, which is 60% of the drugs bought in the US, can negotiate with pharmaceutical companies, reduce costs. So there's also a need for them to find a low-cost manufacturing source. So all these three together make India ideal. One is they have to move from China. India gives the cost base and can give the scale. So all these elements say India is a long-term partner of choice for the West. But it will take time. This business is a slow-moving business. It's not this year or next year. This is a 5-10-year business. So this is a sector to look at, like generics grew from 2005 to even today. This is almost a sunrise sector for the next 10 years for the Indian market overall.
एंड शिवा सर, इंडियन मार्केट्स की बात हमने की, बट एज इन आप अपनी कंपनी की प्रेजेंस को बढ़ाने के लिए ओवरऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड, अगर मैं पूरे वर्ल्ड की बात करूं तो इंटरनेशनल मार्केट्स में इसकी प्रेजेंस बढ़ाने के लिए कुछ प्लान्स हैं आपके फिलहाल?
Yes, I think, see, all our business today, we are truly a make in India, from a government of India perspective. I think what we do in India for this business primarily is for use when it is launched in the markets around the world. We currently work with innovators, and most of the large pharmaceutical innovators are present in Europe, UK, US, and Japan. And that is the market, or that is where we actually work with. innovators can actually launch their products wherever they want to launch. So in a generic business, after a certain point in time, let us say one company launches a product. After 5 months, somebody else can also launch that same product. And the third company can actually take it to a different market. And because it is a generic product at that point in time, in an innovator business, the product is completely under patent. So what this does is there is nobody else who can do that product during that patent regime. Only the innovator can actually sell anywhere in the world, and where they choose to go, they will actually go and actually get their patent. And that is also a competitive advantage for us. If you really look at a generic business, I think you're always prone to price sensitivity. You're always prone to market competition. In this case, pharma will have, one or two outsourced service providers or manufacturing providers who they will work with. But then nobody else outside that pharma innovator can launch the product. So as long as you continue to deliver and perform, there is literally, very minimal competition, so to speak. That's the advantage of business. But from a growth perspective, we continue to retain. If you look at our document, we've talked about marketing professionals. We have people stationed in innovation hubs around the world. And these people help us continue to source business, both from the existing customers and from the new customers.
बिल्कुल सर, ये तो आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि फार्मा एक ऐसा सेक्टर है जिसमें इतनी जल्दी कंपटीशन या कोई नया प्लेयर आना बहुत मुश्किल है, बिकॉज़ ऑफ इसमें वो सस्टेनेबिलिटी और वो बहुत लंबा प्रोसेस है और बहुत समझने की ज़रूरत होती है कि आपको इसमें कैसे बिज़नेस करना है और बाकी सब सेक्टर्स में मेबी ये आसान रहता है। और इन टर्म्स ऑफ मार्केट, अगर मैं मार्केट की भी बात करूँ, तो मार्केट में भी फार्मा सेक्टर को अब तक एज़ अ डिफेंसिव हम प्ले करते थे। लेकिन अब जो एज़ अ ग्रोथ पर्सपेक्टिव से देख रहे हैं, जैसे कि अभी कृष्णा सर ने भी कहा कि इंडियन डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में अभी हम ग्रोथ बहुत अच्छी देख रहे हैं आने वाले 5 टू 10 इयर्स में। तो अगर मैं इन टर्म्स में मेजर करने की कोशिश करूँ, शिवा सर, तो आप क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं आने वाले 5 सालों में या 10 सालों में? अगर हम एक्सपेक्ट करें तो इंडियन मार्केट में फार्मा सेक्टर की ग्रोथ कितनी हो सकती है इन टर्म्स ऑफ परसेंटेज, अगर आप कोई परसेंटेज ऐसे रखती हो तो? और उसमें आपकी कंपनी का कितना वो जितना उसका पोर्शन है या जितनी उसकी हिस्सेदारी है वो कितनी हो सकती है?
So Mohiniji, I think you have summarized the entire conversation very well at the start. I think thank you for that. I couldn't have done that better. But I think coming back to your question, I think what you are from an Indian story perspective, if you look at the small molecule, new chemical outsourcing perspective, India continues to be the largest growth sector. We continue to grow between 8 and 9%. Now, this 8 and 9% data was released more than a year ago, prior to even a discussion about biosecure. And so the market, as we expect, will continue to grow and will continue to grow better. And from an India perspective, there are, as Krishna explained, there is a cost pressure, and then there is a pressure to add the right scales. Now, there are US, Europe, and India. These are the three markets where small molecule can go to. I think the cost pressure, which is the Inflation Reduction Act, makes India the most compelling proposition. I think we've seen the growth of generics from 2005 to 15. India has done we are called the pharmacy of the world. I think we will also, in our opinion, in the next 10 years, we'll be called the new drug entity for the world. That's really what we believe will happen in the next 10 years.
But if I just add on, if I have to put numbers into question, see if I look at China market, which is CDMO market overall, it's about a $30+ billion market. India is less than a $2 billion market, just CDMO. So even if you take all the generic companies, bada companies, if you take their revenue, even a fraction of this business substantially grows the overall Indian market substantially. So there's the amount of addition CDMO can do, the overall Indian market is very substantial. It's not a small number.
So we have a long way to go, actually.
Long way and a good opportunity.
Yes.
Exactly. We have the good opportunity.
Yes.
Exactly. So जैसे कि आपने भी बताया कि obviously opportunities तो हैं, but opportunities के साथ बहुत सारे ऑब्स्टेकल्स भी होते हैं, बिकॉज़ जब आप इतनी सारी चीज़ों में डील करते हैं, ओवर द वर्ल्ड आप डील करते हैं, आपने कहा आपके ऑलरेडी वहाँ पे स्टेशंस होते हैं और जो स्टेशन्ड आपके एम्प्लॉइज़ होते हैं या जो आपने वहाँ पे लोग होते हैं आपके काम करने के लिए, वो वहाँ से आपके क्लाइंट्स के साथ डील करते हैं। बट इन सब में रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क्स बहुत होते हैं जो अलग-अलग जगह के अलग-अलग होते हैं, लाइक इंडियन रेगुलेशंस अलग हैं, बाहर के किसी और कंट्री के रेगुलेशंस अलग हैं, तो उनसे डील करने में कितनी परेशानी होती है या ये चैलेंजेस आप कैसे फेस करते हैं?
हमको हमारा कस्टमर्स रेगुलेशन प्रॉब्लम हमारा कस्टमर का प्रॉब्लम है. हमारा
हुँ,
कस्टमर्स जो है, दे आर द बिगेस्ट फार्मा कंपनीज इन द वर्ल्ड. दे ऑपरेट ग्लोबली. So the regulatory problem in terms of how to deal with local regulations is not a problem. High
ओके।
quality product on time is our problem.
हुँ, बट उसे अचीव करना वैसे मुश्किल होता होगा आई गेस? ऑन टाइम, बिकॉज़ ऑन टाइम अब सप्लाई चेन्स के इश्यू और इतने सारे इश्यूज़ रेज़ हो जाते हैं बीच में, जब ग्लोबल टेंशन्स बढ़ जाती हैं, तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें पे असर होता है, स्पेशली जो सप्लाई चेन्स होती हैं उन पर।
Yeah, this is a constant process to keep improving reliability of supply chain, keep increasing the quality of your team, keep improving your efficiencies, debottlenecking to ensure you keep delivering on time. And that is why it's very difficult to get into. It's not an easy business. It's a very
हुँ,
stressful business, time-consuming business. So, and it takes a lot of trust for people to give you that opportunity also. So these aspects are day-to-day problems which you improve every day, and that's what makes it challenging and also rewarding and very hard for other people to come into and very good for the existing players to benefit from.
I think one thing to add, Moiniji, I think Sai, if you really look at, I think we work with 18 out of the top 25 large pharma companies globally. And when we say 18 out of the 25 large companies, we've ranked companies based on revenues, based on 2023 numbers. So to get qualified and be part of a supply chain of the top 18 out of the 25 companies itself is a testament to the fact. I think there are 2-3 things that come into play. One is reliability. Second one is capability in terms of chemistry. Third is transparency, because business always can go wrong, or you can have problems because R&D is never completely known. But it is important that you have the right kind of team, you are transparent about it, and you present the right skill and capability. That is really where we grow.
बिल्कुल सर। तो मैं दर्शकों को बता दूँ कि साई लाइफ साइंसेज़ का आईपीओ 11 तारीख से लेकर 13 तारीख तक खुला रहेगा और इसके अलावा इस कंपनी का जो प्राइस बैंड है वो 522 से 549 प्रति शेयर तक का है, तो आप कहीं तक भी बिड कर सकते हैं। 27 शेयरों का लॉट है, टोटल इश्यू साइज़ है 3000 करोड़ का और फ्रेश इश्यू है 950 करोड़ का। तो अगर आप इस कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, तो उससे पहले कन्वर्सेशन आपको ज़रूर सुननी होगी, क्योंकि इस कन्वर्सेशन में हमने बहुत कुछ ऐसी बातें की जो कंपनी के बारे में शायद आपको कहीं भी इन्वेस्ट करने से पहले जाननी बेहद ज़रूरी है। और सर मैं आप दोनों से ही एक-एक सिर्फ़ एक सवाल पूछूँगी जिसके जवाब आप दोनों दे दें, कि आप दर्शकों से क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
Yeah, I think we at Sai we built a company which we are proud of, and this is one of a company we really try to build a world-class company in India to compete the best in the world, and we'd love to have you on board as partners as we build this business out.
बिल्कुल।
I think I echo Krishna's sentiment, but I think what I want to tell, thanks for all of you to take the time to see the video. But I think what I wanted to kind of tell you is, an organization, we've been with private equity for a very long time, and we've made money for all our investors in the past. One of the things that the company thinks is very important as a fiduciary responsibility is to make sure our investors make money. And I think that's a continuing proposition for us. It's just that the investor profile is changing from private equity to public market investors, and we will deal with public money as responsibly as we will always treat it.
बिल्कुल सर। तो आप दोनों का बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए, और दर्शकों से मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि हम फिर हाज़िर होंगे आपके साथ आईपीओ कॉर्नर को लेके एक नई कंपनी के साथ, इससे बातचीत करेंगे और जानेंगे कंपनी के बारे में। तब तक के लिए देखते रहें जागरण बिज़नेस।
Thank you,
Thank you so
Moiniji.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Moiniji.